Okay, let's continue. Yesterday we discussed about the Sanskrit drama. We had thorough discussion, and I hope you really understood what Sanskrit drama. And if it comes like a 10-mark question or 5-mark question, you will surely be able to answer it. Now, this is like the final portion of Unit 1, where we are going to discuss some of the Sanskrit writers. Some of the Sanskrit writers, we are going to discuss about them. So, Sanskrit drama is defined by the works of dramatists. So we do not have so many writers, and it's all about people cannot continue to write Sanskrit. The reason is not it was not the drama of a common people. It was not the drama of a common people. It became the drama, or it became something only of the elite people, because it was written in the Sanskrit language, and the common people were not able to speak in the Sanskrit language. The Sanskrit language was used basically, or the Sanskrit language was used by the Brahmins, or the Brahmin community, within the Brahmin community, and also among the higher caste people, among the higher caste and among the allied people. So commoners were not using the Sanskrit language. So Sanskrit drama, like since it is in the Sanskrit language, commoners cannot understood what is in the language, and even the drama is meant to be seen by the high caste people or the higher people. That's we see even what was the rule book which talks about the Sanskrit drama we discussed. But Bharata Muni wrote which was there? Nati Shastra. Nati Shastra. Okay. So Nati in the Nati Shastra itself, it says that it should be seen by it's like the priority is given for the higher class people. Okay, the lower caste people can see, or the other people can see, but they should keep the distance. So by saying that itself, it is understood that it was not meant for the commoners. So when a drama is not meant for the commoners, it will not be yeah, maybe like the revenue, like at a time like this, you cannot expect the revenue to be generated only from a particular source of people. So we do not have so many Sanskrit playwrights. We have only few. Yeah, we do have a lot of playwrights. Especially there were playwrights at the earlier period of time, but eventually people were not writing in the Sanskrit. But even did he come? What happened? Eh? सर रालेगा सर नहीं आया ना अच्छा ठीक है okay. So yeah, so what was happening was yeah, so there weren't many playwrights, who could write in Sanskrit. There were only few, but still also we could see some of the people or some of the writers who continue to write in Sanskrit language. Sanskrit drama is defined by the works of dramatists, such as some of the famous writers are. You should be able to remember their names, or at least when you hear somewhere, you should be knowing that they are Sanskrit playwrights. Who are they? Shudraga, Bhasha, Bhavbudhi, Harsha, and Kalidasa. Shudraga, Bhasha, Bhavbudhi, Harsha, and Kalidasa. They have survived through thousands of years because of their literary prowess in depicting characters. So they have survived through thousands of years. Their works has been written thousands of years back, but still also their work continued to be read and studied by people. What do you like? What's the word? The prowess means PROWESS. Prowess means the prowess means great skill, great skill. So because of their great skill in depicting characters, characters, right? Yeah. Because of their great skill in depicting characters, their dramas were, their dramas could continue thousands of years. Huh? Because of their prowess, because of their ability in, or because of their great skill in depicting characters, their drama remained thousands and thousands of years. Even to this day, we, some of the songs and some of the, songs which we have in our own local community, it has been existing there for such a long time. Why? Because the reason is it has got such kind of a skill. It has got such kind of a meaning or in-depth understanding. That is why even after thousands of years, some of these songs are existing. They have survived through thousands of years because of their literary prowess in depicting characters, settings, plots in their own individualistic way. Almost all the Sanskrit playwrights benefited from royal patronage. So they cannot today, if somebody is an author, how could he survive? How could he earn money? When he writes a book, the book will be published and people will buy. And when people buy, the revenue will be generated and the publishers will get the money and the author also will be getting money. So in that way, today's authors are able to survive or they are able to get money and they could live their livelihood. But in the olden days, it was in the case. How could these people survive or how could these people write drama? Hmm? They were benefited from royal patronage. Huh? They were benefited from royal patronage. What does royal patronage means? Royal patronage means they were helped by either by a king or from a higher, from somebody from a noble family. Somewhere these people were supported. From somewhere these people were supported. Even when we study about the Greek scholars, they were supported by some of the royal, yeah, some maybe a king or maybe a rich person or somebody will support them. In the same manner, these Sanskrit playwrights were also being supported by somebody else, maybe by a royal patronage or somebody was of a noble family. Let's look upon some of the playwrights. Number one is Basha. We can say Basha or Basa. Basa or Basa would be appropriate, I think. He is a third to fourth. His period was third to fourth common era. It was not BCE, it is CE, something like AD. We can calculate with the AD. So CE, Basa, third to fourth CE. He was a Sanskrit playwright. He was a Sanskrit playwright. Preceding Kalidas. So what is preceding means? What is the word preceding? Preceding. Preceding means coming before. So he came before whom? He came before Kalidasa. Believed to have lived in the city of Ujjain. So where was or what was the birthplace of Basha? It's believed that he was lived in the city of Ujjain, relatively unknown to Sanskrit scholars, except through references in other dramatic works. Even though Bhasha has written so much works, people like the Sanskrit dramatists or the other Sanskrit scholars were not at all aware about Bhasha. They only knew Bhasha by hearing about him through other dramatic works. So in some of the other drama, see, even today when you read a book, you will be having what? You will be having bibliography. You will be having bibliography or you will be having end notes. So when you look upon the bibliography or the end notes, what you will understand? You will understand that there is some other book existing. From that book, this person has copied. The same manner, the Sanskrit scholars were not at all aware about in the sense the Sanskrit scholars couldn't study the work of Bhasha because his works were not available. And but at the same time, some of the other dramas, they have quoted about Bhasha. They have quoted about Bhasha. Bhasha's work saw the light of the day in 1909. See, imagine the time gap. His time period was somewhere around third to fourth century. So even though he wrote maybe like 2000 years back or like around 2000 years back he written, his works were written, but his works were only be able to find out by 1909. Till that time, yeah, it wasn't identified or nobody knows where it was. Pasha's work saw the light of the day in 1909 when the play Swapna Vasavadatta. What was his play? Swapna Vasavadatta. So Basha's play was Swapna Vasavadatta. vision of Vasavadatta was discovered by Pandit Andalwar. Who discovered it? Pandit Andalwar of the archaeological survey. You know what is archaeology? Huh? What they do, they just dig and they just find. So when he may be searching somewhere and in his through his archaeological survey of Mysore, he could discover the drama Swapna Vasavadatta. Swapna Vasavadatta. In the year 1930, a total of 13 plays were discovered in an old library in Trivandrum, where you are right now. Huh? So, in 1913, a total of 13 plays were written. In 1913, a total of 13 plays were discovered in an old library in Trivandrum. By whom? By Ganapati Shastri. Who discovered it? Ganapati Shastri. Okay. You understood, right? Okay. Subhasha, 3rd to 4th CE, was a Sanskrit playwright preceding Kalidasa, believed to have lived in the city of Ujjain, relatively unknown to Sanskrit scholars except through references in other dramatic works. Bhasha's work saw the light of the day in 1909 when the play Swapna Vasavadatta, Vision of Vasavadatta, was discovered by Pandit Andalwar of the Archaeological Survey of Mysore in 1913. A total of 13 plays were discovered in an old library in Trivandrum by T. Ganapati Shastri. Now, Bhasha drew his inspiration. See, there is one sentence that you have to keep it in mind and you can write in the exam. No writer writes in vacuum. No writer writes in vacuum. That means if you want to write something, you should have something to write about. I cannot just simply sit, okay, and just, okay, let me start to write. That doesn't work that way. Huh? If I want to write something, I may have got a theme, I may have got a story, I may have got something and the other. And for a long time, I could have been keeping them in my mind. And I could have been, creating the story, writing it down here and there. And it takes such a long time for me yeah, some people do write, out of, we say like poetry is the spontaneous, or, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. So there could be some spontaneity in writing, but still also there should be something from where you have to write. You cannot write in vacuum. So in the same manner, Pasha drew his inspiration from where? From the epics such as the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. So we have two greater epics, Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and he also got his inspiration from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Most of the old writings were all written from so the classics. Some of the classical writings were mostly written from the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and such from the people got inspired or they got their stories from these greater epics called Ramayana and the Mahabharata, especially the Indian. So Bhasha drew his inspiration from epics such as the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Purana, and the semi-historical legends and figures. Bhasha's plays do not follow the Natya Shastra very strictly. So this is important one. So Bhasha's plays do not follow the Natya Shastra very strictly. So Bharata Muni has very clearly told Bharata Muni has clearly formulated rules for how to write a drama, like a Sanskrit drama. But Bhasha was not totally following Natya Shastra. Bharata was not totally following Natya Shastra, even breaking dramatic conventions. This has led some critics to conclude that Bhasha's plays were written before Bharata Muni's treatise. So some people believe that before Bharata Muni could compose Natya Shastra, Bhasha would have been there and he would have written. But some others see this as an indication of Bhasha's poetic experiments and disregard for a dramatic convention. Some people are saying that he would have been there before, or his works would have been there before Bharata Muni's Natya Shastra. But some are saying, he would, some are saying like he wanted to do some experiments. He do not want to follow the convention. Convention means whatever that, whatever the way things were happening, he didn't want to happen in that manner. He wanted to do it in his own way. Even today, there are people like that, right? They will go, they will not be sticking to the rules and regulations. They will say, okay, even sometimes in class, sometimes everywhere you can see people jumping, jumping outside of the box, thinking outside of the box. Swapna Vasavadatta is his most famous play. So his most famous, Basha's most famous play is Swapna Vasavadatta is his most famous play that depicts the story of King Udayana. It depicts the story of King Udayana who must choose between marrying for love his beloved Vasavadatta or the daughter of a neighboring country. I think we discussed about it in the previous class, right? Yesterday also we discussed. Was it here we discussed or on the Malayalam class? I think in the Malayalam class. The problem was here is a king. So imagine like this is a nation, this is a country. So this here is one country and here is the other country. The problem is countries usually have fight between each other. We are having our nation having problem with Pakistan. In the same manner, nations used to have problem with the neighboring nations. So what they do, the king over here, he will marry the daughter of this king. So what will happen? There will be some alliance, and you don't have to worry, because anyway, your the king's daughter is living here, so he won't come and attack. So here again, the problem is there is a king by the name Udayana, and he, for political reasons, he has to marry Padmavati, the princess, the neighboring princess. But the problem is. He is already in love with Vasavadatta. He is already in love with Vasavadatta. So in the play, Bhasha combines romance with political intrigue, creating a new kind of drama. So such kind of dramas were not existing at that time. No, I don't have to sign that. No, my signature is not on that. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So Basha combines romance with political intrigue, creating a new kind of drama. So such kind of dramas were not existing till that time. So Basha was the one who contributed something like this. That means usually the dramas were written in such a way that the heroes will be from the Mahabharata or the Ramayana. But here it is of not of that kind. Here there is a king, and there is the problem of a king marrying a lady, or king marrying the princess of the next country. So such kind of themes were not till that time. Not many people were writing with such themes till that time, but Basha wrote. That's why we already told him he was thinking out of box, or he did not want to follow the conventional style. Along with traditional dramas, Basha also wrote. Okay, so Basha combines romance, romance, right? Romance with political intrigue. So the king is in trouble. Should he marry the person he loves, or should he marry somebody whom, like, should he marry for the political interest? So, it is like if he married for the political interest, it's something like, it's not only about him, then the nation will be protected, there will be peace. But if he marry her, but at the same time, if he does not marry his loved one, that's not a good. So he's blending both of them together. Along with traditional drama, Basha also wrote short plays, one act plays, and monologues. So Basha also wrote short plays, one act plays, and monologues. What's a monologue? Monologue is a long speech by one character. Just one character will be there. He will be saying. Among the many dramatic conventions that Basha broke, so there were many dramatic conventions, and there were many rules and regulations which Basha broke up. Was depicting a tragic ending in his place. We already studied that in the Sanskrit drama. What will not be there? Tragic ending will not be there. Tragedy will not be there. There will be only what? Comedy. But he broke that also. He is always going out of the box. So he said, okay, he just brought a tragic ending. He just brought what? A tragic ending. So among the many dramatic conventions that Vasha broke was depicting a tragic ending in his play. Both the Urubhanga means breaking of the thighs, breaking of the thighs, and Karna's task, which deals with the stories of Duryodhana and Karna respectively. So Duryodhana and Karna, what you need to understand, most of the dramas were not portraying Duryodhana and Karna as some heroes or people or somebody with in a positive thing. But here he actually put Duryodhana and Karna as kind of heroes. So he put Duryodhana and Karna as heroes. The heroes of these two plays are traditionally seen as villains or anti-heroes in the Mahabharata. But however, Bharata treats them with sympathy. So Bharata is treating who and who? Bharata is treating Duryodhana and Karna with sympathy and shows a side of their character and shows their side of their character hitherto not dealt with in epics. So in the epics, it was not shown them as people who are having some good character traits, but he is showing their good character traits. TRAITs, good character traits. What character traits they are having? Both Duryodhana and Karna both are having. He is emphasizing their they their life and Vasha treats them with sympathy. He treats them with sympathy, the struggles they go through. Furthermore, Basha does not shy away. Basha does not shy away from showing violent acts on stage. So he wasn't ashamed to show violent acts on a stage, which was another Natya Shastra convention that he disregarded. So in the Natya Shastra, very clearly it says you should not be showing any violent acts, but he broke that out. He is breaking all the conventional styles. We shall, okay, that is all about Bhasha. It's interesting, right? Yes. Okay. I'll read it once again. Bhasha. Bhasha, 3rd to 4th century CE. Common Era was a Sanskrit playwright preceding Kalidasa, believed to have lived in the city of Ujjain. Relatively unknown to Sanskrit scholars except through references in other dramatic works. Bhasha's work saw the light of the day in 1909 when the play Swapna Vasavadatta, Vishnu of Vasavadatta was discovered by Pandit Andalwa of the Archaeological Survey of Mysore. In 1913, a total of 13 plays were discovered in an old library in Trivandrum by Ganapati Shastri. Bhasha drew his inspiration from epics such as the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Purana, and semi-historical legends and figures. Bhasha's plays do not follow the Natya Shastra very strictly, even breaking dramatic conventions. This has led some critics to conclude that Bhasha's plays were written before Bharata Muni's treatise. Others see this as an indication of Bhasha's poetic experiments and disregard for dramatic conventions. Swapna Vasavadatta is his most famous play that depicts the story of King Udayana, who must choose between marrying for love his beloved Vasavadatta or the daughter of a neighboring king, Princess Padmavati, for political gain. In the play, Bhasha combines romance with political intrigue, creating a new kind of drama. Along with traditional dramas, Bhasha also wrote short plays, one-act plays, and monologues. Among the many dramatic conventions that Bhasha broke was depicting a tragic ending in his plays. Both Udubhanga, Breaking of the Ties, and Karnabhara, Karna's task, which deal with the stories of Duryodhana and Karna respectively, end on tragic notes. The heroes of these two plays are traditionally seen as villains or anti-heroes in the Mahabharata. However, Bhasha treats them with sympathy and shows a side of their character hitherto not dealt with in the epic. Furthermore, Bhasha does not shy away from showing violent acts on stage, which was another Natya Shastra convention that here disregards. We shall take a quick look at the Shudraga. Next one is Shudraga. The next Sanskrit playwright is Shudraga. Shudraga. Shudraga, literally translated as the little servant, was a poet king. So he was also a king, he was also a poet. He also lived in Ujjain in the 2nd century. He is known for his Prakarana play. He is known for his Prakarana. We discussed yesterday what is a Prakarana. Prakarana is a dramatic, it is a drama based on invented or fictional stories. So what is Prakarana? It's a drama based on invented or fictional stories, not any mythical stories, but fictional stories. So fictional story. So Prakarna is a fictional story. So he is well known for his Prakarna mythical plays. sorry, myth in the sense, yeah, not mythical, but what? But fictional, just inventional stories. Mrichagadiga, the little cart, the little clay cart. Mrichagadiga means what? The little clay cart, which is an extended version of Pasha's incomplete play Charudatta. So it is an extended version of Pasha's incomplete play Charudatta. Which is an extended version of Basha's incomplete play Charudatta. The 10-act play tells the love story of a Brahmin merchant. The 10-act play tells the story of a Brahmin merchant. The 10-act play tells the love story of a Brahmin merchant, Charudatta, and a courtesan, Vasanta Sena, whose union is thwarted by a jealous suitor. So in the story, who all are there? In this story, there is one Brahmin merchant, and his name is Charudatta. There is a Brahmin merchant, and his name is Charudatta. Charudatta was a nobleman. Even though he is poor, he is noble. And a courtesan Vatsanta Sena. Courtesan means somebody who lives in the palace, who is in the palace, and who is somebody of a higher official, and she's a lady, and she has got a lot of money and got good relationship with people and all. So this story talks about Charudatta and a courtesan Vasanta Sena. So they are in love with each other. But there is somebody else who also want to get Vasanta Sena. Even with a few serious elements, they play ends happily and is primarily seen as a mix of romance and humor. So this drama is seen as a mix of romance and humor. It also offers an interesting and a realistic picture of urban society and the complex social structure of that time. We will be studying Shudraga's Mrichagadiga in block 3rd. We are going to study, discuss further of Shudraga's Mrichagadiga. His other plays include Vinavasavadatta and Bhana, one short one-act monologue, and Padma Prabhridaga. Incidentally, the 1984 Hindi movie Utsav. Did anybody watch the movie Utsav? Directed by Girish Karnad, is believed to have been largely based on Mrichagadiga. Bhavbhuti, okay, that is all about Sudraga. So once again, I am going to explain all about Sudraga. Sudraga, literally translated as a little servant, was a quiet king who lived in Ujjain in the 2nd century. He is known for his Pragarana play. Pragarana play means fictional play. Mrichagadiga, the little Traika, which is an extended version of a Bhasha's incomplete play, Charudatta. The 10-act play tells the love story of a Brahmin merchant, Charudatta, and a courtesan Vasanta Sena, whose union is thwarted by a jealous suitor. Even with a few serious elements, the play ends happily and is primarily seen as a mix of romance and humor. Social structure of that day. We will be studying Shudragas Mrichagadiga in block 3rd of this course. His other plays include Vinasavadatta and a Bhana, short one-act monologue, and Padma Prabhridaga. Incidentally, the 1984 Hindi movie Ulsa, directed by Girish Karnad, is believed to have been based largely on Mrichagadiga. Bhavbhuti will be, okay. Next is Bhavbhuti. Next is who? Bhavbhuti. Bhavbhuti, a major dramatist of the later Sanskrit dramatic period. So Bhavbhuti is a major dramatist of the later Sanskrit period. Was the court poet. He was the court poet of King Yashovarman. He was the court poet of the King Yashovarman of Kannauj. Who? Bhavbhuti was the court poet of the king Yashovarman of Kannauj in North India in 8th century, 8th CE Common Era. He too wrote plays based on the Ramayana, such as the Mahavira Charita. So he too wrote plays based on the Ramayana, such as the Mahavira Charita, exploration of a great hero, which depicts the early life of Rama, and Uttara Rama Charita, the later history of Rama, which shows the final years of Rama's life as written in the Uttaraganda of the Ramayana. Both the plays consists of 7 acts written in the Nataka style. Yesterday we studied Nataka style. His third drama, Maladi Madhava, Maladi and Madhava, is a Prakarana play. It's a Prakarana play centered on the love story of Maladi, the daughter of a minister, and Madhavya, her beloved. Maladi is said to be married off to Nandana in accordance with the king's wishes. The powerful suitor, as well as a mix up with another couple, interrupts the union of Maladi and Madhava, which is finally resolved with the aid of magic. The use of supernatural makes this play a one of a kind drama that skillfully combines romance with humor. So that is all about Bhavabhuti. So he is again a Sanskrit playwright, and he was the court poet of the king Yashovarman of Kannauj, and he also wrote plays based on Ramayana. What are they? Mahavira Charita, exploits of a great hero, and Uttara Ramacharita, the later history of Rama. So then his third drama is called Maladi Madhava. Maladi Madhava is a Prakarana play. What is a Prakarana play? Prakarana play means fictional play, fictional, not basing your play on epics, not basing your play on epics. Prakarana play means not basing your play on epics, but rather than on fictional stories. In his third drama, yeah, fictional story, fictions. So in his third drama, Maladi Madhava is a Prakarana play. It is a Prakarana play centered on the love between Maladi. The first one was not Prakarana. That was based on Ramayana. But here it is based on, not based on Ramayana or any epic. It is just a fictional story. So his third drama, Maladi Madhava, Maladi and Madhava, is a Prakarana play centered on the love story of Maladi, the daughter of a minister, and Madhavi, her beloved. Maladi is said to be married off to Nandana in accordance with the king's wishes. The powerful suitor, as well as a mix up with another couple, interrupts the union of Maladi and Madhava. So Maladi and Madhava is trying to get married, but somebody is creating problem, and it is finally resolved with the aid of magic. They're bringing some magical elements, and it is resolved. The use of the supernatural makes this play a one of a kind, that drama that skillfully combines romance with horror. So it is combined with romance and horror. Bhavabhudi's long poetic descriptions, Bhavabhudi's long poetic descriptions are seen as mere embellishments that do not add anything to the drama, but tends to obfuscate his clear and simple discourse. How Buddhist long poetics descriptions are seen as mere embellishments. Embellishments means decorations or additions. So Buddhist long poetic descriptions are seen as mere additions that does not add anything to the drama, but tends to obfuscate. Obfuscate. Obfuscate means to take something unclear, to make something unclear, confusing. So it is just there to confuse. It is just there to confuse. So obfuscate, obfuscate means to make something unclear, to make something unclear. So long poetic descriptions are seen as mere embellishments, just additions. It is not adding anything to the drama, but it is confusing. It is tending to obfuscate, confusing his clear and simple diction. He is known for completely doing away with the Vidushaka and thus eliminating the comic element in his place. So he does not involve whom in his place? Vidushaka. So there is no Vidushakas are the people who usually bring comic elements. So since Vidushaka is not there, there is no comic elements. So he avoids Vidushaka. Critics see this as a reflection of his temperament that could not portray humor effectively. So he's not a person who can do humor well. Today some movies again you will have some producers some directors who could do the comedy part well, some couldn't do it well. So he cannot do the comedy part or the humor well. Bhavabhuti instead compensates. He instead compensates for it by highlighting the supernatural. He highlighted the supernatural and the grotesk. Grotesk means something that is strange, unnatural, shocking. So he brought the supernatural, and the grotesk means the supernatural, thus evoking the unique combination of heroism, romance, and horror, unrivaled in Sanskrit literature. Is it clear? That's all about. So since you all are here, maybe you can buy guide also. That will be good. You can all put money together and buy a guide. So I will explain the portions, and you can study by yourself. Huh? Okay, guide will be again good. And there is something called Neeraj publications and all. So what we can do is, I will explain the important questions from there. We can also look for the previous year questions. Hmm? Next is Kalidasa, one of the best Sanskrit dramatists in the world. So Kalidasa is one of the best Sanskrit dramatists in the world, whose works have been adapted and translated into numerous languages and forms. So his works has been adapted and translated into various languages and forms. Kalidasa's poetic skills are unparalleled even today. His poetic skills are even unparalleled even today, basing his works on the Vedas, the Purana, and the epics. Kalidasa reimagined and breathed new life into the plots that he took from these works. His works include notable plays such as Malavika Agnimitram, pertaining to Malavika and Agnimitra, and Vikramorvashiyam, pertaining to Vikrama and Urvashi. He also wrote epic poems such as Raghuvamsha, Dynasty of Raghu, and Kumara Sambhava, birth of Kumara or Subramanya, along with Khandagavyas, minor poems. However, the most popular and famous work remains the Abhignana Shakuntala, the recognition of Shakuntala. We will not discuss the. Okay. In this unit, we have learned. Okay, that is done. Final sum up. In this unit, we have learned about the history and development of Indian classical drama. Special focus has been given to Sanskrit drama with comparisons and references drawn between the Indian and European dramatic tradition to give an overall awareness about drama. We have also seen uprised of other important Sanskrit playwrights, and that has helped us understand the tradition beyond Kalidasa and has offered us an appreciation on the diversity and range of classical Sanskrit literature. There are some questions to reflect. What do you think is the origin of Indian classical drama? Will you be able to answer? Somewhat you got some idea, right? What do you understand by the term Sanskrit drama? Question number 3. Name some of the prominent classical Sanskrit playwrights and attempt a critical analysis of the work. So what we will do is our first unit is over. First unit is over. So yeah, for the Malayalam students already it's done. For the English students, next class you will be having a test paper. Tomorrow you'll have a test paper. You need to come and write. Maybe next week you're having exam. So after that we will continue to study.